What's up, guys? I think I'm live. I really have no idea if I'm live. Is there sound now? And is that sound repeating? Because I hear it like twice, which is weird. If there's sound now, let me know. And if it's like repeating, is the sound echoing or is the sound okay? Somebody's so excited to hear sound. John, there's so sound. Okay, there's sound but echo? That's weird. Is the echo really bad? I don't know how to fix this. Okay, guys. Let me try to sort this out because I'm not really sure. Is the echo gone now? Has the echo disappeared? I think that it's working now. I don't hear an echo anymore. Okay, we're good. Sorry about the technical difficulty. That's like the challenge to YouTube live streaming. I live stream on Periscope, on Facebook, on pretty much everything. Even Instagram you can live stream now. And for some reason, there's always this challenge with YouTube. I don't know why. YouTube was like the first people to figure out live streaming, and then for some reason it's still a challenge. So what's going on, guys? It's me, Brendan Vanson. I'm live streaming from here in India. Let me show you guys the view to start. I'm at this place called Casa Menezes, which has been my home for like a week. That's the casa. I know it's dinner time or something like that in wherever you guys are at in North America, but the sun's just come up here in India. I'm gonna flip the screen around and show you. Basically, it's a photographer's dream out there right now. Look at that mist and fog. It was crazy this morning, actually. The mist and fog was like in the trees. And yeah, I'm in a part of India called Goa, which is this like beach province, which is a little bit more like Indonesia than the India that you guys probably are used to or know of. So guys, this meetup is gonna look weird because it's from my laptop, and my laptop has a camera down at the bottom, so you guys like get the look at my nose. This is the natural angle of this camera. I'm gonna hold the laptop up like that to make it look kind of normal. Okay, guys. So basically, this is a live meetup with as a part of that Selfmaker project that I was a part of, and that project was a lot of fun. And I hope it was inspiring as well, and I hope it can be inspiring. The idea behind this project is kind of to show people that you shouldn't wait to chase your dreams, that you should go out and make them happen yourself. That you don't have to have you don't have to have the career that the world wants you to have. You should have the career that you want to have. And and chasing your dreams and doing things on your own, and going out and getting what you want, it's awesome and it's empowering, and anyone can do it. So I want to do a Q&A. Let's talk about photography. Let's talk about travel. Let's talk about travel photography. And let's talk about what it takes to be a self-maker, what you can do to chase your dreams. So there's a bunch of people watching now. There's a couple people watching now. You guys can shoot off your questions, and I'll answer them as we go along here. And if you guys just want me to walk around like the building here and show you off that instead, we can do that. No, let's stick to the point. Let's stick to the plot. So first of all, you guys can, this is totally interactive as well, so you can totally just let me know where you're at in the world. Let me know what you're doing. And yeah, let's just have kind of a casual chat here from Goa, India. Abid wants to know, how did you get your start? I kind of got my start because I just went out and did it. There was no rhyme or reason or explanation to it. I kind of just went out and did it. I was living in Canada, and I just graduated university, and I kind of hit this realization that all the things that I'd been I'd been studying for and working for were things that I didn't really see myself doing in the long term. And all I could think about was travel. I just wanted to do travel. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to find out about the world. I was reading about the world in books in university, and everything was so negative that I was just like, I want to see it for myself. I want to figure out, what it actually looks like, what it actually feels like. And so I kind of just went out and did it. I took a job as a tour leader in South America, earning like $50 a week. And then I just kind of started writing and doing some travel writing, and then clients started saying we need some photos for your articles, and so I started shooting images on a little tiny camera. They told me my work was terrible, so I spent my last bit of money on a DSLR camera, learned how to shoot, and then kind of fell in love with photography that way. And I got my start because I went out and got it. I spent hours and hours and hours pitching different clients, learning the trade, teaching myself how to shoot, and I guess that's the answer. My first big break, I don't think I had a big break. It wasn't like something like all of a sudden Nat Geo just called me up and said, hey, we saw your work in this and we want you to shoot for us. I didn't have a big break because I kind of was just, it was a struggle. I was just working and pitching, and I never had that big something, this big moment that kind of, propelled my career. It was just a slog. It was every single day pitching and working and trying to grow, and it hasn't been like a growth like this where you get a big break. It's just been a steady slog uphill, and I wouldn't change that for anything. It makes me really appreciate what I have now. It makes me appreciate my career. The struggle got me to where I am today, and the challenges got me to where I am today and make me appreciate it. I think that if I didn't have the struggle and I just got this big break, I probably wouldn't appreciate it as much as I do right now. Okay, I'm going to go back because there's some questions up here. Somebody in Quebec, Canada. What's going on in Quebec? How you doing? Somebody at 3 in the morning in Germany, go to bed. It's not worth it to see my face, to miss out on sleep. Last night, there was this dog barking, and I slept 2 hours last night because this dog was barking. Don't wake up after 2 hours sleep. Go to bed. No, actually, you know what? Stick around. Stick around in Germany. 3 in the morning. Somebody in from New Zealand. What's going on, Jack? John asks, do you think you need a college degree to be a travel photographer? Absolutely not. No way, shape, or form. And I think that it's an interesting question because I spent 6 or 7 years of my life in university, so it's almost a strange question for me to say no to, especially when my degrees have nothing to do with my career. Um, you I believe that everybody should go to university though, and everybody should spend those 4 years minimum or a couple of years minimum in university, because those are such important growth years for you. And the person you are at 18 is a different person than you are at 23. When I was 18, I thought I was going to be a basketball coach or a professional soccer player or, a kinesiologist. I didn't know that I was going to be a travel photographer. And I think that it's important to spend those 4 years in school growing and developing your personality and just learning about yourself. And I think university also teaches you to think critically. It teaches you to think logically. It teaches you to think beyond the box. So go to school, but you don't need school to be a travel photographer. And if you're thinking about going to school to learn photography, that's cool. But I'm a big believer that the world can teach you a lot more in terms of photography than a classroom can. So maybe invest the money that you were going to spend on 4 years of university for photography specifically, and invest it into traveling the world and learning your trade and building your trade out in the world. I think that especially with like YouTube and the amount of information that's out there on photography, you can learn photography without going to school for it. I didn't go to school for it. I have degrees in political science and geography. So yeah, I guess that's the long answer. What else do we got here? I want to chase my dreams of being a travel photographer, but I'm stuck in high school. Yeah, don't wait. I think that being stuck is an easy excuse to get around starting out. That was Isaac that asked that question. If you're starting out and you're, in high school or whatever, you've got a huge advantage on people like me that didn't start until they were 23. In high school, you can go out and shoot. You can take photos of your friends. I'm sure you've got some cool locations around your house that you can practice. I'm sure that you'll take vacations with your family. I'm sure you'll take little holidays or weekend trips. Not all travel photographers go to exotic places. Not all travel photographers are running around the world. A lot of them, in fact, the majority of them, are based somewhere and doing like little projects around where they're from. So just because you're in high school doesn't mean you can't start chasing that dream of being a travel photographer. Just because you're in high school doesn't mean you shouldn't start chasing your dreams of being a professional athlete. You should be working at that right now. Especially if you're so sure that that's what you want, you should definitely just start taking pictures. Let's see what else we got in here. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I don't know. I've been doing these interviews because I'm bringing on an intern, and I've been asking everybody where they see themselves in 5 years. And the funny thing is, I don't know where I see myself in 5 years, and I don't see that as a problem. I think with goal making, I'm not sure if you guys can hear the dog, but that's the dog that kept me up all night barking again. I don't know what's up with that dog. He's not my friend right now, though. Anyway, back to the question. I think that having goals is really important, but I think that having goals can also be dangerous. Having long-term goals can be dangerous because we kind of get so focused on the future and what we want that we lose track of what's actually happening. And if we think of ourselves now and 5 years ago, just think about how different that is. Think about how different that person was 5 years ago than they are now. And if you were still focusing on your dreams from 5 years ago, how would they differ from now? And if you really focus really hard on a 5-year plan, I think that you can get kind of caught in a life that you don't want to be living. I learned at a pretty young age that you kind of need to go with the flow with life. And if you don't go with the flow and you push too hard at achieving a certain goal in a certain way, that you can kind of trap yourself. And you can kind of find yourself 5 years later living a life that you don't exactly want to be living. So 5 years from now, travel will be a part of my life. Photography will be a part of my life. and I don't know how that'll be. Right now, I'm 100% nomadic. Maybe in 5 years, I'll be like a little bit more settled, doing shorter trips or having more of an office life when it comes to it. But honestly, I don't think 5 years ahead. I kind of try to focus on the year ahead and the quarter ahead, and maybe up to 2 years ahead. So that's my answer, I guess. Let's see. What type of clients do I focus on? There's so many questions. What type of clients do I focus on? I try to focus on clients that suit me. I try to focus on clients that kind of match my personality. I do adventure, I do outdoor sport, I do nature, and so I'm not going to grab a client like Coca-Cola, for example. And that's not to say I would never work with Coca-Cola. It's just the project would have to be somehow related to that outdoor nature travel experience. I focus on clients that have that same goal that I have, to show exploration and show adventure and stuff like that. I like to pick clients that kind of promote my own brand as well. So I like to find clients that match up. From a photography standpoint, I love clients like destinations. Destinations are great clients because basically it's open. You go to a destination, like I'm here in Goa, India, and you photograph that destination, and it's really low stress. So I like to focus on destinations. Where am I? Do I think a graphic designer could travel and work? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I know a lot of graphic designers that travel for a living nomadically. One of the coolest things about this internet age is that you can work from anywhere in so many different types of careers. So as a graphic designer, absolutely, you can work nomadically as long as you can find yourself on good enough internet to like live stream or to chat or to FaceTime or Skype with clients. That's an easy career, and I have friends that are graphic designers that travel the world constantly as they do it. So yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a lot of careers that people could be doing virtually, and I think that there's a lot of people that would be a lot happier doing virtual careers. That would be working on their own time, out of the office, wherever they want to be working in the world. So I think that definitely you can do that. The German I told to go to bed says it's okay, I have a night shift tomorrow. Okay, that's cool then. I don't feel so bad for keeping you up. You can hear the barking dog. I'm so sorry about that barking dog. If you can see my eyes, they're probably a little red because it's right outside my door. And I've been at this place, Casa Menezes, for a week, and that dog has been just there today. So I don't know, maybe he's stuck in a trap or something. I think maybe we should take the camera and go find the dog. Let's go find the dog. If I lose the Wi-Fi feed, I'm sorry. Let's go find the dog. So the dog's out here somewhere, down the street. Where are you, dog? He's quiet now. Wow. He's quiet now just as I'm trying to find him. It's a sneaky dog. You guys want to see the other side of the street? It's morning traffic here. In Goa, it's not like the rest of India. It's super chill. So yeah. Anyways, let's get back on topic, shall we? We can't find the dog. The dog went into hiding. Okay, back to my little desk here. How do I fund my trips? Well, it's my job, so I fund my trips in a variety of ways. As a travel photographer, there's 3 types of trips, I like to say. There's me trips, them trips, and mixed trips. A them trip is a client's paying you to travel, and then you're kind of doing a job, and so they're paying you, they fund the trip. A me trip is a trip in which I pay everything up front, and then hope that the clients buy images or writing or social media or something like that. And that's how it usually is when you start out. And then mixed trips is what I do a lot of times right now. And a mixed trip is essentially it's like I pay things up front, but I have clients that are already buying things or are on retainer or something like that. How's the internship stuff coming along? The internship stuff is coming along really well. If some of you don't know about the internship, basically I have an internship that's coming up that I'm bringing on an intern to travel the world with me for a little bit, and that's kind of talking about the Selfmaker side of things, talking about this AXE program that we got going on. That's something that blows my mind. That not only was I able to build my own career, that I was able to be a self-maker, if you will, but I've been able to now put myself in a position that I can start helping other people chase their dreams as well. And so this internship's actually something I'm really excited about. It's something I'm really proud of. And it's something I think 5 years ago I would have never imagined that I would be in a position not only where I can bring an intern on and maybe turn that person into a self-maker as well, maybe make that person like decide, hey, I want to do this, I want to chase my dream as well. But you know, just the fact that there was 500 applications or something like that is just crazy to me. So the internship is coming along, yeah, it's coming along well. I did 15 interviews over this past week. I've got a short list narrowed down, and I'll be making an announcement on who I chose for that internship at the end of December. Oh, you lost me? Oh, I'm back. You guys lost me for a bit? Where did you lose me? Did you lose me as soon as I went to find the dog? Am I back now? Okay, the feed's obviously a little bit delayed, and so sorry about that. When I'm on Indian internet. I'm just excited to have internet in general. Still no feed for Justin. That's weird. Okay. If anybody can let me know whether they're good or bad, please let me know. Obviously, it's a little bit delayed and stuff like that. Refreshed and it's back. Okay, thanks. You lost me, so you got to see the dog part, which is the most important part of this whole thing. So somebody says that you lost me when I was talking about the internship, so maybe I'll go and start talking about the internship again. Sorry if I'm doubling up, but basically I was saying that one of the really cool things, or the thing that blows my mind, is I'm here on this project with, it's the AXE Selfmaker, and we're talking about how we can make ourselves, how we can find our own path in this world without waiting for somebody to give us what we want, and how being a self-maker is something so empowering. And I think that the coolest part about this whole process is that I've now put myself in a position that I can also help somebody else be a self-maker. I can also help somebody else chase their dreams. And so this internship, the idea behind the internship is that I need some help to grow my business and to keep building on what I've already built. And hopefully through this internship, I can help somebody else chase their dreams. I can help somebody else find their way in the world as well. So the interviews have been going amazing. I've done 15 interviews over the past couple days. And I think I have a couple left still, 3 or 4 left, or 2 or 3 left. And then I'll have a short list and then an announcement early in January. But I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun having an intern out on the road with me. Let's see. Guys, drop some more questions. We're running low on questions. At least I think we are. What draws you to your style of photography? What do you think about the new modern wave of photographers that are doing the feet hanging over the edge, crushed, black, centered, all that stuff? So, this is kind of like, that question is, that's a fun question for a photographer, and it's also a dangerous question to answer. So, basically, there's 2 things, and I think it's a very good benefit to me, the new trend in photography, the crushed, as you said, the crushed blacks, the centered image, the blown out highlights, all that stuff, this trend in photography and the style works in my favor for 2 different ways. The first way it works in my favor is I'm such a technical photographer that I kind of sometimes lose the emotion in my images because I'm so concerned about getting everything technically correct. And I think that seeing these images and the emotion they capture in their edits and the way they're shot is something that's really important to me, because it makes me realize that the technical qualities of an image isn't everything. That the emotion to the image is the most important thing. And it forces me to sometimes start shooting things that aren't technically sound, but kind of get the emotion. So I think that's the art versus the trade. I was talking to the guys that filmed the Axe commercial with me, and we were kind of talking about how we don't see ourselves as artists, we see ourselves as tradesmen. And I think that there is an art factor, obviously, and that's something I've always struggled with, and I'd love to fit more of the art into it. The feet hanging over the edge, the classic back of the person shot, that trend in photography is cool. I really like that trend because I think it evokes emotion. I think it makes people feel like they're that person. And the goal of travel photography is to make people want to travel. And seeing the back of someone in a cool scene or the feet hanging over a cliff, it makes you think you could be that person or imagine you being that person, and that's cool. Now, the second reason why that this kind of trend is in my favor is that there's a lot of photographers now that are shooting really cool images, but they're not super technically sound images. And because they're not super technically sound, it's easier for me to sell work to clients when my work is technically sound. So as crazy as that sounds, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of huge Instagram accounts that take really beautiful images that fit really nice onto a phone, look incredible on a phone, but if you were to blow it up to a billboard, it wouldn't be sharp enough, it wouldn't be technically sound enough. So I definitely don't think it hurts the industry, I think it helps the industry, and I still think that from my work standpoint, I have a bit of an advantage because I am such a technical shooter. What do I think about drone pictures? I love drones. I have a Phantom 3 that I'm leaving here in India, and then I'll get the DJI Mavic when it comes out. So I love the drone photography, and I love that it opens up new boundaries. I love that it opens up new opportunities for people. We used to need helicopters to do some aerial shots. Now we can do it from like a controller on a deck. And even just to elevate certain shots and to get a different perspective, it's amazing. One of my things in photography, one of my beliefs in photography is that you need to try to change the perspective that the human eye sees. So quite often we're walking from eye level and people are taking pictures from eye level. And then so I think those photos can kind of be snapshots and boring because they see the world the same way everybody else sees the world. Whereas I like to try to develop a way to see the world that's slightly different. And a drone just adds a complete other dimension and perspective to the world. So I love the possibilities with drones, and I love flying my drone, Fido. Fido's the best, and I'm looking forward to doing more drone photography. Have I ever been robbed, scared? Is it dangerous out there? I've been robbed before, but it was kind of my own stupidity. In Ecuador, I left a bunch of camera gear under a bus seat, and it got swiped. But that's only once. I've only been robbed once. In 7 years traveling as a photographer, as a professional, I've only been robbed once. In 10 years total of travel, I think I've only been robbed that one time too. It's not dangerous out here. I don't think travel is dangerous. I think if you were to look at the numbers, traveling the world is no more dangerous than staying at home and going to a regular job. I think what's really dangerous is being depressed in your life and not doing the things you want to be doing. I think that what's dangerous is stagnation and boredom and kind of being trapped in your bubble. I think that's far more dangerous than anything you're going to find on the road. So if you're not traveling because you think it's dangerous, it's not something that you should be fearful of. I found that the most dangerous places I've been in the world are some of the most friendly, beautiful places in the world. I've been to Sierra Leone, the DR Congo, I've been to Haiti, I've been to some of the favelas in Rio that everybody is so scared of, and they're beautiful places. So don't let fear stop you from living your dreams. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest excuses why people aren't chasing their dreams, why they're not becoming self-makers, is because they're fearful of anything, and of just not of failing, or of the world, or whatever. So yeah, try to get over those fears if you're scared. What's going on? My boy Stop Having a Boring Life's on here. That's my boy Rob Lloyd. If you guys want to see another self-maker, go to stophavingaboringlife.com. This dude's crazy. He's been traveling the world for like 7 years as well. He used to be a lobbyist, and now he's got like this house or 2 houses on Little Corn Island in Nicaragua that he's building, and that's awesome. So go check out stophavingaboringlife.com. What camera would you recommend for a student just starting out? I shoot Canon, and it's hard for me to tell people to shoot something other than Canon. But if I was just starting out right now, I would probably pick up the Sony a6500, which is a crop sensor camera, mirrorless. It's small, it shoots incredible video, it's got a beautiful stabilization system, great autofocus system, and it's not super expensive. You could also go with something like the Sony a5100, which is even cheaper. It's like a $600 mirrorless camera, although that's more of a video style camera than photo. Or if you're like me, you can start off with a Rebel. I had a Canon Rebel, and that's all you need. You know, when you're starting out, learn the trade, figure out the trade, and start with a small camera. Start with something relatively cheap, and then move up from there. Do I carry insurance on yourself and or your equipment? I travel with insurance on myself, but not my equipment. And it's just because I don't have... it's expensive to insure camera gear. And to be honest, I think that if I was to lose all my camera gear once every 3 or 4 years, it would still be cheaper than to get the insurance for it. So I don't carry insurance for the travel gear. I have some insurance through my... sorry, morning traffic's picking up. Through my credit card, so it covers a little bit of stuff like that, but definitely have health insurance. It's a little bit hard for me to get health insurance because I'm not in Canada, and the way the insurance works, the travel insurance works, it's kind of strange. So I have expat insurance, which is about $200 a month that covers me globally. There was more questions higher up. What's a good first step for someone wanting to get started in travel photography? A good step for somebody to start in travel photography is to explore around home. I was saying it to somebody else earlier. If you want to get into travel photography, you don't need to travel the world. Go explore all the places, all the tourist attractions, all the lakes, everything around you. Shoot them like crazy, and that dog's back. And shoot them like crazy, and then, contact the local tourism board, or contact the local or the provincial or state tourism board, and showcase that work from home and build from there. I didn't do that because I didn't know better. I kind of just jumped on a plane and wished for luck. But if I was doing it over again, I think that's probably how I would start out. Where are we? Do you think of starting a vlog channel? Because if you do, I would follow you. You don't know about my vlog? Man, come on now. Chris O'Connor, I have a vlog. You can find it. It's YouTube.com/Brendan Vanton, and I vlog daily, actually. Every single day of my life is on vlog, and you should check it out. It's been fun lately here in India. The latest episode was called "You Look Like a Pooh from Aladdin," because we were dressed in like traditional outfit and we kind of looked like a Pooh from Aladdin. I let this girl named Claudia Ayuso take over my vlog 2 days ago. She's a YouTube star that has like 300,000 subs. And yeah, basically the point of my channel is to just give you guys an insight into what life is like as a travel photographer. And I show you everything. I show you my business plan. I show you my day in a life. And I talk a lot about what we're talking about here as a part of this Act Selfmaker campaign, in that you need to go out and chase your dreams. You need to go out and make the career that you want to have. You can't wait for other people to give it to you. You can't wait until it just develops magically. You have to go out and do it. And I think one of the most inspiring things in the world is watching people do that. And I have a career, thankfully, that all the people around me are self-makers. Everybody I know in the industry is a self-maker, and that's such an inspiring thing, and I try to bring that into the vlog as well. So if you're not subscribed to my vlog, it's youtube.com/Brendan Vanson, same as my handle on Twitter and Instagram and everything like that, and you'll see the vlogs. I think it's fun. I think the channel's kind of fun. So yeah, that's my answer there. Describe my writing style. How can I write about my adventures for someone who has always sucked at writing in school? So I've always kind of been good at writing throughout my life, but terrible at grammar. And my writing style, I think, is very descriptive when I do travel writing. I don't do a lot of travel writing these days, but I think if you're learning how to write and you're trying to teach yourself how to write, the one thing I do is I just try to sit in a scene or in a location, and I try to think of all the senses. What does this feel like? What does this smell like? What does this taste like? What does the air feel like? I try to kind of take those senses and I just jot them down into notes, and I find that really helps me with the creative side of things. So yeah, that's maybe my advice starting out writing, how you can write about your adventures. It doesn't matter if you sucked at school. When I was in high school, I was a terrible student. I barely had the grades to get into community college because I just wasn't focused on school. I didn't care about school. I cared about playing sports and dreaming, you know? So just because you sucked at something at school doesn't mean you're going to suck at it for the rest of your life. If you were to tell my high school English teacher that I was going to be a professional travel photographer and a travel writer, and that my travel writing would be featured in places like The Guardian and the Toronto Star, she would probably laugh hysterically and fall out of her chair and then get back up and then ask if you were serious and then laugh again when you found out. Don't get focused on what you were good and bad at in the past. Focus on what you can be better at in the future. Focus on how you can grow. Focus on how you can be doing the things you want to be doing in this life. You often talk about how much you like traveling to the places, but what's your favorite place overall? My favorite place overall is probably home. It's probably the Rockies. You know, get back to Alberta, and I love it there. But it's not. It doesn't feel like home to me. But it's my favorite place to travel, just because I have so many good memories there, and there's so many cool locations to shoot. But I feel like travel in general is kind of like food. You know how you might love sushi, but you don't want to eat it every day. You kind of have these cravings for food. You're like, today I want Thai food, or today I want sushi, or today I want steak. Travel's kind of like that. And I go through like weeks where I'm like, today I really need Africa. I really need South Africa. I need some wildlife. I need some adventure. And then other days I'm like, I just feel like maybe a little bit of a calmer adventure on the beach. Or sometimes I'm like, I feel like I need my mountains, you know? So I feel like travel's like food, and it kind of just, it's an ebb and flow in what you want and what your travel dreams are. Some of my favorite places in the world to travel have been Namibia, where I just was, and South Africa. Namibia and South Africa are incredible. Colombia has always kind of felt like home to me. I love Italy, especially the north coast of Italy. I love Italy. Antarctica was amazing. Antarctica was actually my first ever assignment. And I absolutely love those places. But I pretty much have liked everywhere I've been in the world for some different reason. And obviously there's things I don't like about a lot of places, but I think I can find the cool parts of pretty much anywhere in the world. Somebody says you could also buy an older used camera on eBay. Absolutely, yeah. That's a great idea. If you are looking for a new camera, especially now the 5D Mark IV came out, so there's a lot of 5D Mark IIIs out on the market. Although that might be a little bit of a bit of a jump to go straight from not shooting photography to like a full frame DSLR. But yeah, you can definitely look for used cameras, especially your first camera. I shot a Canon 60D up until about a month ago as my backup camera, and that camera's got to be 7 years old. So don't think that you need the latest, greatest technology, especially starting out. Even professional photographers like me will use 7-year-old cameras because it's about how you shoot the camera for the most part rather than what's in the camera itself. How do you wash your clothes while on the road, like when you were in Africa? The greatest thing about travel, and you guys want to know the real secret, the real reason as to why I travel the world, it's because I don't have to do my own laundry. Wherever you are in the world outside of North America and maybe Europe, people will do your laundry for you for very cheap. So when I was in Africa, I would go to the front desk of the hotel and say, here's a bag of laundry, and then it would come back clean magically. And on my big scooter trip in Africa, every now and then some pieces of clothing would go missing. But yeah, the beauty of travel is that you never have to do your own laundry. It's the only reason I travel. When I'm at home, it's like the strangest thing to have to do my own laundry. Chris O'Connor, you just followed me. Thanks, buddy. How would you approach the tourism board? The tourism board thing, I think you just have to create cool images and then email them, or go to a local conference. Most tourism boards in the world are really, really active, and you're gonna be able to find them at little conferences or meetups, or email them or call them or visit their office and show them your work and offer them your services, because tourism boards are always looking for images to promote on their social media. They're always looking for images for their marketing campaigns. So yeah, just go and contact them. I think that it's quite interesting that people are always wondering, how do you find these people? The internet's full of all the information. Everybody's email address is live on the internet. Where are we going to see you in the near future? Okay, so my game plan, my life plan for right now is I'm leaving Cuba. What day is it today? It's the 30th for me. It's the 29th for you. But I'm leaving Cuba. I'm leaving for Cuba tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm leaving Goa. I'm going to be in Cuba for 14 days, and then after Cuba, I'm going to going home for. I'm not going home for Christmas. I'm going to my parents' house for Christmas. They have a place in Arizona, so I'll go there, and I'll also be doing some exploring in Arizona, maybe Utah as well. And then after that, I'm probably most likely flying to Europe and kind of setting up a base somewhere in Europe. And then who knows? Really, the new year is still quite up in the air with me. This year has been so busy. This year, in 2016, I've probably been to like 40 different countries, and it's been crazy. I haven't had like more than a couple weeks off the whole year. So I'm looking forward to hopefully in the new year spending a little bit more time away from work, but still exploring. So we'll see how that goes, because I've said that every year for the past 7 years, and every year I seem to work harder than the year before. Somebody else was wondering about the laundry. You guys also want to know like about how I eat every day? I go to restaurants. I hate cooking. And that's why the nomadic life just works for me. I don't have to do laundry. I don't have to cook. Usually there's somebody cleaning my room for me. Yeah, I am not made for the domestic life at all. Do I want to get into making more video content? Yeah, I love making videos, and I absolutely love vlogging, and I actually find myself more interested in shooting video and capturing the video these days than the photos. But obviously the photos are still what pays the bills, and photography is always going to be my bread and butter. But I absolutely love doing video, shooting and just creating episodes and kind of sharing that behind the scenes aspect of my life. So I'd definitely be doing more video content. One of the things I dislike about video is editing. I don't like video editing. I don't actually even like photo editing, to be honest. That's like the actual work. So if I didn't have to edit the footage, I'd probably shoot like a ton of footage, like a ton of video footage. So yeah, I want to do more video for sure. Do you think the mood in Cuba will be different since Castro just died? Yes, absolutely. The mood's going to be strange. It's going to be different. I was there over a year ago, and the mood was kind of flat, I would say, in Cuba. And I think that now there's going to be more emotion running around. I think that a lot of people, maybe not in Cuba, but around the world, kind of forgot Fidel Castro even was alive. I think people forgot because it was so long that he was out of the media that he was kind of forgotten almost. And I don't think anything's going to have changed politically, but I think there'll definitely be some emotion running high because I get there and the funeral is starting. They're like driving the body across the country from Havana all the way to Santiago, and I think so. I think it's going to be really interesting to be there at that time for sure. Do I do workshops? Yes, that's exactly why I'm going to Cuba. Actually, I'm going to Cuba to run a workshop with my buddy Jeff Bartlett, who's another photographer you guys should check out. Jeff Bartlett. His Instagram handle is PhotoJBartlett. And yeah, we're running a workshop there. And then after that workshop, we're making 2 huge announcements for 2 more workshops in the coming year. We're going to be doing Peru and Iceland in 2017. Those are going to be awesome workshops. So yes, I do workshops. Workshops are a lot of fun. I absolutely love teaching. Another question, if you've been in so many countries, am I still lagging? Somebody's just commented lag. So the internet sometimes is kind of cutty and inny and outy. So is it back or is it still really lagging? I'm just going to make funny faces until somebody answers me. Okay. Back again. Sorry about the funny faces. Another question. Yeah, somebody says to just refresh the feed if it's lagging. That seems to be working. Another question, if you've been in so many countries, how do you get visas and how often do you change your passport? Visas are always a challenge. It's always a struggle. Sometimes some countries are quite easy as a Canadian on a passport, which is quite nice. But in Africa, in West Africa, Central Africa, it was a struggle. And I have to change my passport every couple of years, sometimes every year, just because it fills up with stamps and visas so quickly. We get like 36-page passports in Canada. So yeah, we don't have a lot of time. They fill really quickly. And it kind of sucks. You know, when you start traveling, you're like super stoked on getting passport stamps. You're like, yeah, stamp this. You like go to places that aren't even like country borders, and you go to like Machu Picchu or the Galapagos Islands, and they can offer stamps, and you're like, yeah, I want those stamps, and you're so excited about getting stamps, and you want like big stamps. When you travel professionally, you hate stamps. Stamps are the worst, and visas, those full-page visas are even worse because they fill your passport, and then you have to go to the passport office and get a new one. And doing passport duties is worse than doing laundry. It's way worse than doing laundry. Somebody asked why India. I've been in India on a them trip. I mentioned earlier in the feed the them trip. Basically, the reason I'm here is I'm doing a project with Tourism Goa, and Tourism Goa has brought in, or did bring in, 16 Instagrammers, photographers, vloggers, YouTubers. There were some big stars. There was like a YouTuber named Yellow Mellow from Spain who has like a 1.5 million subscribers here with us. There were some Instagrammers that have like a 500,000 followers, and there were some pretty big names, and it was cool. And we were like this little family here in India. And basically it was a them trip, so they brought us in to explore India and then take photos of Goa, India for them, and to share our experiences online. So that's why I was in India. These workshops are something I'd be interested in if I were traveling from the States for one of the workshops. How is room and board handled? Basically, if you're interested in the workshops, head over to my website. It's brendansadventures.com. And on that website, you're going to find out all the information for the workshops. The workshops are basically run kind of like tours. It's like a tour of Peru, for example, and then we just teach you photography along the way. So we do one-on-one sessions, we do in-the-field sessions, and the whole tour is based around the idea of being in the right place at the right time for photos. So a lot of tours you might be a little bit struggling to find time to get images and stuff like that. But on our tours or our workshops, you'll find time, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to get cool images, and you'll learn a lot as well. We take everybody from beginners to main people. I'm getting an email. It's probably from Axe saying, wrap it up. It's been a long time, I think. I don't even know how long this chat was supposed to be because I've been so busy that I haven't really read that much information. So does anybody have any questions? I think we're almost running on an hour. If you guys have any questions, we can, yeah, I'll answer as many of them. We can go like lightning round style if you have more questions. Or I'm not sure, maybe the people at Axe can let me know how long this is supposed to be, because I don't really know. But yeah, ask questions, and yeah, I think that we're probably pretty close to wrapping up. Anybody have any more lasting questions? Have I frozen again? I can always kind of tell when I'm freezing because the questions disappear. Could you make a live on your own channel? You want to carry the live over to the other channel? I go live on my YouTube channel about once a week. That's what I try to do on my YouTube channel. So yeah, you can head over there, and like I said, head over to that YouTube channel, and you'll I think you'll learn a lot about photography by going through those videos, and not just about photography, but about life on the road and stuff like that. And as I mentioned, I go live on YouTube once a week or so. I try to go live on Periscope once a day via my Twitter feed. So I'm live all the time. I'm live more often than I'm off live, I think. So yeah, somebody says we should do this again, definitely. And a big thanks to Axe Canada. This has been an awesome project. It's been inspiring. It's been so cool to see the other self-makers. You know, if you don't know the Selfmaker project, you should go and check it out because it is really inspiring. There's 4 of us, and one of the guys is like a cook, a chef. The other guy is a DJ, and then there's a designer. And they're all just people that have been like, you know what? I'm gonna just go out and chase my dream. I'm gonna go out and make this happen and do what I want to be doing. And that's so inspiring to see other people doing it. So be sure to check out the Selfmaker project. It's been really inspiring to be a part of. It's been almost humbling to be a part of. I mean, it's been a bit of an ego boost, you know, a little bit of an ego boost, but it's also been incredibly inspiring and humbling to see, you know, the other people and how far they've come and what they've gone through and what they're doing to make their dreams a reality. And I think that that's something the world needs more of. I think the world needs more inspiration, and I think the world needs more people being self-makers. I think the world needs more people, you know, empowering themselves and the people around them by doing exactly what they want to be doing, and doing it in a way that's, you know, beneficial to the world and the people around you is also important. Big Al says we should do this once a month. Talk to the people at Axe. Send them a message. We can do it once a month. I'm sure that they'd be interested in that. I travel alone all the time. Do I feel lonely? I feel lonely. Yeah, I think it would be unnatural to not feel lonely on the road, especially when you travel solo. I'm lucky that the travel community is just incredible. The travel community is such a family because we're all going through what we go through. People don't understand what we go through on the road. And if we complain about it, they're like, yo, stop complaining. You travel the world for a living. And I totally get that. It makes sense to me. But yeah, it can be lonely. And I think I'm really thankful for the travel community. And I'm really thankful for things like this. I'm really thankful to be able to go live and chat with people that are strangers, but they don't feel like strangers to me. They just feel like people that I can kind of just chat with when I'm lonely. So thanks to you guys for tuning into this. Because you're like my family. You're like my buddies. And yeah, as I mentioned, the travel community is incredible. So we're all really good at supporting each other and stuff like that. Where do we find info on Axe? Maybe Emily can include that in her in the description of this video. There'll be a link there to the video. Or you can go to 10,000 Coffees and check out the Selfmaker Cafe. We'll find a way to get a link out to you guys, but it'll most likely be in the description of this video at some point really soon. So if you don't see the link to that Axe info yet, hang tight after the live stream comes to an end, and it'll get added as soon as I can. Okay? Cool? Sweet. Somebody also asked, what languages do I speak? I speak French, Spanish, and English, and a little bit of Portuguese, and that pretty much gets you around the world except for China and Russia. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna call it a live stream because we're coming up on an hour, and I think it's time for me to get some breakfast and for that dude in Germany to get some sleep, probably. And the dog's quieted down, so maybe I should go back to bed myself, actually. So thank you guys so much for coming and being a part of this. As I mentioned, this Selfmaker campaign's just been incredible. It's been so inspiring, and I hope that we managed to inspire you guys a little bit to go out and chase your dreams. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean as a travel photographer. It might mean going out there and doing whatever you want to be doing with your career. One of the words I've always lived by, or the things I've always lived by, is find out what you love in this life, find out what you love doing in this life, and then go out and find a way to make money doing that. And if you do that, you're going to be happy. And even if you fail trying to do that, at least you tried, and at least you'll have that sense of accomplishment. Last piece of advice is don't be afraid to fail. I failed 1,000 different times. I continue to fail every single day. Failure is only a building block to success. Failure is a lesson learned every single time. If you have nothing but successes, you never learn, you'll never grow. So fail often, and embrace your failures. Don't be deterred by them. So guys, thank you so much, and I guess I'll see you the next time I go live. And you might see me for the next minute as I try to shut off this live stream because I have no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace. Turning off the stream, turning off the stream. I don't know how to turn off the stream. I'm never going to be a singer. Wow.